This is Danny Flexon here for Seconds Out. Delighted to be joined by 1-0, Ollie Duffy. Ollie, how are you?
I'm good, man. How are you?
I'm very good, thank you. I guess a good place to start is how you first got into boxing. I know you were a very talented junior amateur. Just tell us how you first got into the sport.
I first got into boxing when I was 10. I loved fighting. I was very restless. I had a lot of energy. And my dad took me down to Finchley Amateur Boxing Club. And the first time I walked into the ring, obviously I see Anthony Joshua, and yeah, it was great. And I was there for 3 years. And then I moved to Repton. And then I moved to Hooks Amateur Boxing Club.
Yep.
And then from there, I then moved to Ghana. And I was in Ghana for another 3 years, boxing with Richard Comey. And yeah, it was great. It was great.
There's a lot to unpack there, and we'll get through it all. But let me just ask you first. You said first person, or one of the first people you saw at Finchley was AJ. What sort of stage was he at in his career at that point?
He was at the very, very beginning of his career. He had just won the elite seniors, if I remember correctly, and he was just building up. So it was crazy to watch him win the seniors and then go to Europeans, and everything was kind of happening, whilst we were there. And it was like, oh, is he gonna win? Wow, he just won and got a silver medal at the World Championships. So he's going to the Olympics. Yeah, it was cool to watch it all just kind of come together,
Did you guys have much of a relationship? I'm guessing obviously you were a bit younger, a bit earlier in your career, but did you interact much?
We did, actually. Yeah, we definitely did. I was a lot younger than him at the time, but yeah, we definitely did interact when we did see each other. Definitely.
And you talked about you moved to a couple of clubs and then ended up going to Garnier for 3 years. Just tell us how that came about.
How'd that come about? I got kicked out of school. I was a bit naughty. And my dad decided to take me to Ghana, just to get away from London, just different scenery. And
you had family there? Was your dad Ghanaian?
No, my dad's actually not Ghanaian. My dad's Jamaican. He's half Jamaican, half Irish. He went to Ghana 20, 30 years ago, fell in love with the place, bought some land, built a house, and the boxing out there just happened to be amazing. Richard Comey's obviously currently now fighting. We have past champions, Ike Cordy, Zuma Nelson, Joshua Clotty, and they all come from the same town.
ACCRA.
Yeah, a town in ACCRA.
Oh, okay.
In ACCRA, Bookham, yeah, of course. It's about a 5 mile radius of about 20 gyms. Everyone just going at it all the time. You walk down the street, all you see is boxers running up and down the place, jogging every morning, and it's a hard lifestyle. It's a hard lifestyle, but this is a hard sport. So
did that factor into your father's decision to take you to Ghana specifically? I know you said he fell in love with the country, but was the boxing scene part of the decision?
No, honestly, it wasn't. It just kind of happened. My dad didn't actually know about Bookham until shortly before we went. He started looking into boxing and Bookham in Ghana, and he discovered that wow, they actually have a really good boxing community and background. At first, he was a bit hesitant. He's thinking, I don't know if I'll be able to handle it, but obviously, I got thrown in the deep end and I swam, and that was it. It was great. It was fantastic. I learned so much about
How
the
old
sport.
were you when you went?
I was 15.
15, wow. So were you still going to school over there, or were you just purely boxing?
Purely boxing. We tried the school over there wouldn't have worked. It's so strict to the point where I just wouldn't have been able to, it wouldn't have worked for me. But no, it was strictly boxing, man, and it was a lot of times, living. I had an apartment in Bookham by myself when I was 16.
Wow.
Because traveling back from the house to the gym was, you know, very, very time consuming, very stressful. The traffic, it was a lot, you know. So I had a little apartment just about 20 minutes from the gym, and I could run to the gym. And living there in that environment by myself at 16 is a lot. You know, it's a lot. It's a lot. And like I said, it definitely taught me a lot about myself. It taught me a lot about boxing. It taught me a lot about life. And it's priceless, you know. It was genuinely priceless, that experience.
Were there other non-Ghanaian boxers there, or were you the only one?
I was the only one. I was the only one. It was literally just me. I mean, every now and then you'd see like reporters from different countries come through and like film documentaries and interview certain fighters, and they were shocked to see me sometimes.
Yeah.
You know, they were asking me, how can you handle this? How can you live here? How can you? And yeah, it was, you know, for me, after a while, I never got why people thought it was so hard. For me, it was like, it became very normal. These were my people. This was my place. This was home to me, you know. It was, yeah.
How were you welcomed by the Ghanaian boxers?
At first, I remember the first ever time I sparred, it was so hot, so humid, and so hard. Like, everything's hard, man. After about 6 rounds, I just stood in the middle of the ring and just threw up. Like, I just put my hand up and just threw up everywhere. You know, that happened for like the first few times I sparred. Like, every time I sparred, I just threw up because the heat was so intense.
Yeah.
And they didn't take it easy on me. You know, they wanted to make an example of me for sure. You know, for sure. But after a while, I prevailed, and yeah, I definitely earned their respect. And which was hard to do.
Just tell us some of the fighters that you sparred with, and some of the legends, I guess, you met while you were there as well.
The legends that I met, Azuma Nelson, of course, Ike Corti, both former world champions, both great fighters. I sparred a lot with Richard Comey. Recently just fought Lomachenko, world champion, Commonwealth champion, African champion. I used to spar with Duke Micah a lot as well. He recently fought Casemiro, I think.
Yep.
Again, Commonwealth champion, African champion. I used to spar Emmanuel Tego.
Yep.
I think he won the IBO title as well, African title as well.
He's like #1 mandatory now, isn't he? At 140.
Oh, is he? Yeah.
I think so. Yeah.
I think he is actually.
I think he's working with Luke Bella.
I think he is. Yeah, I used to get a lot of work in with those 3 guys. Loads of other people as well. Loads, too many to name. You know, too many to name. But
could you tell that when you were sparring the likes of Comey, could you tell how good they were, how far they might go?
Yes. Yeah. Definitely. But obviously, to see it happen is surreal. You know, like you think I'm just a kid. You know, I don't know what this what this sport, what you need to go so far in this sport. But now looking back, it's like I've seen these people work and train every single day. I've been so close to them, and I've seen where they've gotten to by doing the exact same thing that I do, going to the gym day in, day out, you know, torturing yourself, working hard, sacrificing, and improving every single day. And I've watched it happen, you know, and I know that I've been in the ring with these people at 15, 16, 17, and I'm holding my own. I'm holding my own with these people. And I wouldn't say they were holding back either. So that gave me a lot of confidence, I guess. But yeah, no, I could, yeah, yeah.
Whereabouts did you grow up?
I grew up in North London.
North London.
Around
So
the Wood Green area.
Wood Green?
Yeah.
Yeah. I used to work in Wood Green.
Oh, yeah.
For a couple of years, yeah. So describe the kind of cultural differences for us between, growing up in Wood Green, and I know Wood Green pretty well, and Bukom in Ghana, or Bukom rather.
The cultural differences are similar in some ways, but very, very, very different in others. It's always busy. Things are always happening. People are always working. Everyone's working. It's a fisherman. It's a fishing community. Right. Firstly, it's a fishing community, so everyone's always working, and what fishermen work very, very hard. They got to get up early, go out and fish, and it's a dangerous job too, especially there. And next to Bukom, there's a place called Agbogbloshie, and Agbogbloshie has I think it's the biggest e-waste dump site in the world, actually.
Right.
Vice made a documentary about it, and so it's hard, So obviously, Wood Green, if you come from London, you think that the environment there is hard, you think.
Yeah.
And then you go to this, and you're like, oh, that's nothing. That's nothing. That's nothing. So many stories, so many things I saw that will always stay with me.
Have you been back since? Do you visit?
I've been back and forth numerous times since. I think I first went when I was 13, and I've just been back and forth constantly since I was about 19. But I haven't been back since I was 19 years old. No.
What made you return to the UK after 3 years in Ghana?
I had to get going. I had to start, and I had quite a bad shoulder injury. I had a really bad shoulder injury, so I had to come over here and get my operation, and I had to heal from my operation, and then I had to get back in the gym. I had to get back in the gym. I had to turn professional. I had to start fighting. I had to really get the ball rolling, and that Ghana was great to train and stuff and to work on myself, but nothing was happening. The opportunities there are few and far beyond.
Did you always intend to turn pro when you were a young amateur going around the London clubs, or was it Ghana that kind of convinced you could turn pro, that it was a realistic ambition?
Honestly, no. When I was a kid, I had no foresight. I just boxed. I liked it.
Yeah.
And people, I'm sure it was, people would tell me, oh, this kid will be a good pro, but I'm 14, 12, 13, 14, 15. I can't see myself. I'm thinking about what I'm going to do tomorrow with my mates. I'm not thinking about being a professional fighter. It was definitely when I was in Ghana around these professional fighters, watching them train and prepare for big fights. And it became so much more realistic to me. I could see myself there doing that. And that's when and then obviously where I was getting in the work with them as well, I knew that I could hang. I knew that I could hang with these people. I knew that I could do this. The dream kind of started to become more of a reality for me.
So now you're back home. Are you living in North London again?
Yeah.
And how did you link up with Tony Pill, who's your manager?
I met him at Don Charles's gym, and at first it was a bit because I had a pretty bad shoulder injury and I wasn't sparring. I wasn't really doing so much, and then I started sparring. I started getting back into my flow of things, and me and Tony started talking and stuff, and we hit it off. And
how is the shoulder now?
Fine, perfect.
Was it just rehab, or did you have surgery? What was the situation?
I had surgery. I had quite a big operation. I had a lat jet surgery, and it took me a while to get past that physically and mentally, because it had been happening for years before, and I had avoided going to surgery, and I had tried to do different methods of getting it better, and it just wasn't helping. Like I said, I was in Ghana as well, and obviously the healthcare doesn't exist, and the sparring was hard. The training was hard, so it was constant. Like, it was just constant working.
And is Don Charles your trainer now?
Not currently, no.
So who are you training with?
I'm training currently. I'm kind of in limbo. You know, we're looking for we're working on different things. You know, we're at the drawing board. So in the new year,
Sorry, keep talking over it. What's your reflections on your debut?
Oh, it was a lot. You know, it was a lot. It was. Everyone says that I've done fantastically, you know, but I'm my biggest. I'm going to judge myself the most. I am my biggest competitor. So, for myself, I wanted that stoppage. You know, I wanted that stoppage, and that's what I want going forward. I want stoppages. I want to be in exciting fights. So that was the one thing that I was disappointed about in myself, that I didn't get that stoppage. But the performance was great. You know, I had a pretty tough fight. I had a pretty experienced fighter as well, especially going into my debut. But it did work in my benefit. You know, because of that, I was the number one. I think I still am actually on BoxRec. I was the number one debutant in the country.
That's pretty cool.
That was great. You know, that was great. And yeah, basically, it was a great experience, man. It was a great experience. It was fantastic.
And has Tony given you any indication of when you'll next be out? I know there's unlikely to be any shows in January, but after that, perhaps?
I'm going to be out in February. I think it's February 26th. That's when I'm next going to be out, and I'm pumped. You know, I'm ready to go.
You better hurry up and find a trainer.
Yeah.
I'm guessing at some point you'd like to link up with one of the TV promoters going forward, because that's kind of the way to get your name out there, raise your profile. Sure.
Of course. I mean, that's what this is about. You know, this isn't. That's what we do this for. Being with a big promoter changes everything. You know, it changes everything. It changes. You know, you're out there. You haven't got to run around and do all the things that you got to do when you're not promoted, when you're not signed. You know, everything's just that little bit easier. You have that opportunity. You know, certain doors open for you. It will come.
I'm sure. Now, before we let you go, we always do this the first time we have someone on Seconds Out. Just share with people out there how they can find you on the different social media platforms.
I'm on Instagram at PIM_boxing. PIM stands for Poetry in Motion.
Nice.
Yep. And currently Instagram is the only online platform that I'm on. But yeah, no, definitely follow my Instagram, PIM_boxing. Great
stuff. Really appreciate your time. It's a fascinating story, and really it's only just beginning, so we'll watch it with interest.
Thank you.